Hello, this is Riley Jones of the New York Times calling for Donald Rumsfeld again. Is he in? I understand, but I'd really like to ask him a few questions about an incident in Iraq in 2005 regarding... Yes. I know, but I'm getting the distinct impression that he's avoiding my calls. I mean, I've called several times now in the past few months and I've gotten no response, so I'm wondering if you've been passing along my messages. Fine. Thank you. Asshole. Sorry about that.
No worries. I already made myself comfortable.
I see. I think I'll join you.
Already took the liberty.
You know what I like?
Vodka. Neat. You're not the only one who's good at research.
Indeed. This place is cozy.
Yeah. I like to drink off the beaten path.
Mission accomplished.
So, how's Sydney?
Salivating like a dog with a bone.
Very descriptive.
He's excited.
Good. What about you?
Well, my interest was definitely piqued when I got this.
Of course. Do you believe me now?
I believe something's happening.
But you don't believe it's what I say it is.
I don't have enough pieces of the puzzle, Colonel.
Joan, if you're gonna doubt me, you might as well call me by my first name. Doubt is personal after all. Aren't we getting personal, Riley?
I'm not, Colonel.
So what is it that you don't believe exactly?
Look, Colonel, it's...
Joan.
Joan, it's not that I don't believe you. I haven't gotten this far in my career without asking questions. You brought this story to me because you wanted my dogged reporter's persistence. Did I get that right? I like to make sure my quotes are accurate.
Yes, but your persistence seems to be morphing into second guessing.
If I don't play devil's advocate, then I'm not covering the story properly. And that's what you want, isn't it?
I want more than that.
You and Sydney, you both want to indict the military. Well, I need more than what you have. Like I told him, I need more than your hunch and more than his gut. It's a great place to start, but it's not enough.
What I have is 22 years in the jack order. 22 years of listening to young women and even a few men plead for justice after being raped by fellow soldiers and commanding officers. 22 years of sitting with hands tied, reciting the company line of sexual harassment and misconduct policy back at them. I've watched as case after case after case that I could actually build and bring to court fall apart. I've even had to prosecute some of those same brave young men and women for violating the rules of fraternization because they were indecent enough to be raped by married officers. Those cases always stuck somehow. Don't discount my hunch, Riley. It's sharpened to a razor's edge, and years of reading between the lines has made me an expert at seeing what's not there.
That's all well and good. But when this book gets published, the Army's going to go after me and it and anyone that helped get this story told with guns blazing. They've got all their ducks in a row. Every I is dotted and every T is crossed, and they have not retracted from that story. Not even a little. I have to meet them measure for measure on this, and I can't use redacted medical reports and non-witnesses as proof of a cover-up.
Years ago, you're right, that wouldn't have been enough. But in today's New World Order, everything turns on the whim of supposition. Smoke and rumors make headlines.
But is that what you want? We only got one crack at this, and I, for one, don't want to mess it up. If we shoot and miss, then the story gets buried and Sasha is forgotten.
You're way more careful than your writing style led me to believe.
I didn't know you were familiar with my work.
I'd so bet you before I could trust you with something like this.
I had to make sure I do the right thing.
Your piece on women in the Congo, brilliant. You won a Pulitzer for that, right? But it was your piece on Ferguson that told me that you are the only reporter that can tell this story. I'm surprised you didn't win another award for that. It must have been a difficult story for you to write.
It was. Cost me a whole lot more than a Pulitzer. So, Sasha Green.
You can talk to Kofi Jameson and Terry O'Brien. They both fought with Sasha in Iraq. They knew her pretty well. I think they'll be willing to talk to you.
You certain?
No. But Kofi was interviewed by the base commander, and pieces of his statement have also been redacted. I'm thinking he knows something the army doesn't want shared.
And Terry?
You know I can't reveal client and attorney privileges, right?
I do.
I put in my request for retirement today.
Wow.
Yeah. I need to be somewhere where I can make a difference.
You got something lined up?
My brother-in-law's been after me for years about joining his firm.
You? A defense attorney? Sounds like a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah. He works for the Innocence Project.
A welcome change for you, I expect.
Yep. Anyways, now you can quote me. On the record.
I was already planning on it. You know, this is gonna be a uphill battle, even with Kofi and Terry.
I thought you were planning on talking to the base commander, Jennings. And that doctor, what's his name?
Lanham. I am. But before going to them, I need something that they can't bypass with misdirection and lies. Tell me where I can get a medical report that hasn't been altered. Who can I go to get more evidence?
You might want to check that.
What is this?
Mr. Green's number.
I already have it. I called him, but he never called me back.
I spoke to them this morning. The wife can't, but Mr. Green says he's ready to talk to you now.
What changed?
He trusts me. He called me after he viewed Sasha's body. Anyways, he's the one that got the ball rolling on this whole thing. I still don't know how he got my number, but he needs to know what happened to his daughter.
Sounds like you have the magic touch when it comes to him.
Nothing personal. He just doesn't trust reporters. Something having to do with the collective yawn he got when he went to the local news stations and other local news reporters to tell them the story about his daughter, the soldier who was raped and killed in Iraq. Anyway, like I said, he trusts me. And I told him that your dogged persistence would lead you to the truth.
Need a lift?
Nah, I'm not done here.
I'll be in touch.